Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another video. And today I've got a interesting conversation that happened at work. Let's maximize this really quick if we can. Put me over there. It's called Why Your Pension Sucks. Okay, so being in the military, I encountered this one a lot. Like, aren't you staying for the pension? Why aren't you going to stay in? Why don't you do your 20 years? And I really wanted to just do the math for myself. And based on being a lieutenant now, and I'm going to go be a major. If I were to stay in 20 years, I'd be either a major or a lieutenant colonel, maybe colonel if I got really lucky, but probably lieutenant colonel or major. But let's do the numbers. This is why your pension sucks. So I was talking to somebody about this at work, and I was telling them why they should just... right now I'm working as a traveler. I was trying to encourage them to work as a traveler, but they were telling me, I think I'm going to stay because they offer a really good pension if I stay here for 20 years. And I was like, that sounds very familiar. So let's get into this. Okay, so what is a pension? So let's go over to Wikipedia here, or Vestopedia. All right, so basically this is what we need. We need these key takeaways. A pension plan is a retirement plan that requires an employer to make contributions to a pool of funds set aside for a worker's future benefit. So a lot of people don't know that. There is actually a pool of funds that your employer is setting aside. And what does that tell us? That tells us that there's no magical pension fairy that just makes magical money come out of nowhere. Unless it's a government pension, in which case the Fed makes that money come out of nowhere magically. But we aren't going to get into that. That's out of the scope of this video. But that means that there's an actual fund that you are paying into, right? So you can't take out more than you put in, right? So essentially that's important, right? That means that you're putting something in that you have to take out later. So you could already be doing this yourself. All right, the next thing, there are two main types of pension plans, defined benefit and the defined contribution. So defined contribution is basically referring to your 401k plan. You're going to put something in and then you get to take that back out directly. Defined benefit is something that you pay into and then they pay you based on what your pay was with the company. You could have high three, like what you made in your last 3 years, or there's different ways that they pay it out. But defined benefit basically means they're going to pay you a certain amount. Defined contribution means that you're going to get out what you put in. Exactly. But either way, something's going in and something's coming back out. So it's a zero-sum game. That is the point of this discussion. A defined benefit plan guarantees a set monthly amount. We just went over that. Or a lump sum upon retirement. A defined contribution creates an investment account that grows throughout the employee's working years. That's usually a 401k. The balance is available to the employee upon retiring. And usually if it's traditional, you will pay taxes on that. If it is a Roth, you will not pay taxes on that. So the point of all of that is that what is a pension? A pension is essentially a zero-sum game. So what does that mean? That means that the more money we make, the bigger a pension that we can make. So we can make a pension for ourselves that's even bigger if we go make more money, because this is a zero-sum game. So you're not getting something special out of the government. You're not getting something special out of your company by making less money. Okay, you're just making less money and you're saving less money. That's all that's happening. So the point isn't that pensions are bad. The point is that you're not doing yourself any favors by making less money so that you can have a pension, because you can make yourself a pension. Okay, so let's talk about my military pension. I went and ran all my numbers, and based off of what I would get in 10 years getting out of the military, it would be $2,042 a month. That's not bad, right? That'd be $24,504 a year. Okay, so let's apply some financial rules here. So we got down here the rule of 25, which is essentially take whatever amount that you've saved up, you multiply it by 25, and that means that you can withdraw 4% every year in perpetuity. Okay, next slide here. All right, let me move myself over here. Okay, so we had that $24,504 per year. That's not a bad amount. We multiply that by 25. That means that the market value of this pension, assuming that we were to withdraw 4%, we got them barking dogs. All right. Oh my God. Chill out. All right. Anyway, so let's see. I just lost my train of thought. Okay. So 612,000, that's the market value of this pension essentially. So as we said earlier, the government, of course, can print this money. And what about healthcare? People always want to say, oh, you should stay in the military for the healthcare. In today's dollars, it's assumed that you will pay about $13,000 per year in healthcare. So if we were to multiply that by 25, we get $325,000. So on the next slide, we'll go ahead and we'll combine those. That dog is really annoying. Okay, so the military pension value is essentially right here, $937,000 in today's dollars, and I would get that at 60, okay? So because I'm in the reserves. So the value of it is $937,000. So this is an important exercise to know how to do, to know what the market value of the pension is that they're offering you. Could you do it yourself? Could you do it better? Okay, so, all right, this is basically where I find myself. Military pay is $112,000, and if I were to go and make my civilian pay, it would be $164,000. That's what I'm making right now without all the leaves for military and stuff like that. But let's say that I were to just get out and go make that. The delta right here is $51,000, and if you invest that amount for the next 10 years, by the time I get to 60, well, at 10 years, it would be $822,000. By the time I get to 60, it would grow without touching it anymore. It would grow to $6 million, right? And that's without even contributing after those 10 years. So essentially what you get down here is you've got $937,000 is the value of that pension versus $6 million is the value of me getting out and making more money, right? So there's a $5 million difference there for staying in for the pension. So that's basically the exercise there, and hopefully this is a good mental exercise for you guys to see what is that pension actually worth, and is it worth me making less money? Because most of the time it's not. There's obviously a crossover point. I don't know how to mathematically do that, but at some point that pension, well, first of all, the pension is a zero-sum game. That's what we got to remember. Whatever you put in, that's what you will get back out. Whether it's obfuscated from your view, what you put in is what you get back out. So the more money you make, the better. All right. So we see here, it's a $5 million difference for me. So it does not make more sense for me to get to stay in. There's other different legacy retirement programs where if you don't stay for that amount of time, you don't get it. I understand if you're close, if you're 3 years away, that might make sense to stay. You have to be able to do these numbers and understand these numbers and just be able to make that decision for yourself. But sometimes it actually does make sense to forego a pension to go make more money because you get this $5 million difference. But anyways, we're going to stop beating that dead horse, and I will see you guys in the next video. Let me know what you guys thought about this and if this changed your thinking on pensions. I'll see you guys later.